Alright guys, how you doing? It's Rabea, hope you're all good. So I've had some time over the last however many months to kind of get to know the Super Kraken a lot more, and obviously I've gigged it and played a few festivals with it and stuff. That's been for a very specific application, but having it at home, able to just kind of mess around with it when I just want to play, or if I'm recording something, I've kind of gotten my way around it a bit more tonally, which is really cool. And I thought in this video it might be quite interesting to show you just how many tones you can get without actually having to change any of the settings, apart from channel and using the preamp focus. So the premise of this video is just, I'm not going to touch the EQ, I'm not going to touch the gains of either of the channels. All I'm going to do is switch the preamp focus on and off, and I'm going to move between gain 1 and gain 2. I've got a couple of different guitars to use, and I just thought it was really interesting because, you know, it just shows off the versatility of the amplifier, and I thought that might be interesting to you all because it's really useful, especially when you're recording, that you don't have to, you know, lose your settings, if you know what I mean, because you can just jump between different ones, different channels, and obviously the preamp on and off, the focus, and you get loads out of it. So it's really, really cool. And yeah, that's basically this video. I'm going to use my Fender Double Esquire Special, in other words, Telly, Gibson Les Paul, and I've got my Chapman ML1 Pro 7 with some bare knuckle nail bombs in it to show you what it sounds like, you know, in lower extended range tunings. The signal chain is literally VX100 into the Boss Tube Amp Expander, and then I'm going to use some of the reverb and delay on that as well. And then that's running straight into the Apollo X8P, and then it's being captured in Logic. So that's basically it. Let's get into it. So the first tone is literally just the clean. I've given you a close-up of the settings. As you can see, the gain's running quite high, but with a single coil guitar, it just sounds awesome. So it's a really nice clean tone, as you can hear. Lovely, just like chimey. So if I throw on the preamp focus without touching any of the settings, this is what you get. That sounds rad. That's a really, really nice sound. It's got enough, just enough gain, just enough bite with the gain that high as well, but with the preamp focus in. It's compressing a little bit, but not loads. So you do, you know, have to fight for it a little bit, which I really like. I really like that sound. Right, let's move on. Okay, so I've got the Leslie, the Lester, and now we're on the same channel, but we've just added the crunch, so that's an extra half preamp tube, and I've taken the preamp focus out, but nothing else has changed, and this is the sound you get. It's a great sound because it's thick and warm, and it's still a little bit, you know, not as much sustain as a high gain sound, but it's got some girth to it, especially when you dig in, but you can back it off just in the dynamics of the way you play. So like, get the idea. It sounds very, very cool, and this guitar is sick. So all I'm going to do now is add the preamp focus, and again we've got a completely different sound, one with more gain and girth, and it just sounds sick. So check this out. Feel like this is just an awesome hard rock rhythm tone. It's just so much power to it, and it's just tightened up, got that a little bit more saturation. It just sounds sick. Sounds sick. Sounds really good. So that's the second lot of tones, and let's move on to something a bit heavier. Finally, got the ML1 Pro 7 with bare knuckle nail bombs in there, going into the gain 2. So this is how it sounds. So that's really thick, and again, it's really useful for I'd say like a more modern metal tone, not progressive metal, but modern metal tone. You know, because it's round and it's warm. Sounds great. So if I throw in the preamp focus, then we get a little bit more articulation, and of course goes into that more progressive metal category. So there was some mindless riffing all over the place, but you get the idea. It's just tightened, pushed out those mids, and giving you chord definition. As well as a tighter low end. And yeah, and also if you do some lead stuff, so if I add some effects. So there it is. That's hopefully shown off quite a few of the different tones that you can get out of the Super Kraken. Again, it's just something that dawned on me that I've had it a while, and I've realised just how many different tones I was getting out of it. Everything from cleans, ambient cleans, to kind of classic rock, and you know, even some of that country licks and stuff, all the way through to hard rock, and then through into metal, and then extended range metal and lead and everything. It really, it's difficult not to just be like, it does everything. You should just use this amp and nothing else. Like, if you like the sound of it and you've got a budget for a new amplifier, I really do recommend checking it out. Not only is it MIDI programmable, so all those tones can be programmed to any board, but it's just, the feel of it is fantastic. And I might be biased, I am biased because obviously I helped create this amplifier with Martin, but it just, you know, I don't really have a bad thing to say about it. It sounds fantastic, and not only is it a great sound, it's 100 watts, so it's stupidly loud. It sounds really, 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 really good through any speaker cab that I've tried it through, whether it be like a 412 or a 2. In fact, download I used 2 412s and it was enormous because I obviously had a second one for the stereo rig. So I had two 100 watt amps and two 412s, and it was just monstrous. But just one on its own into a 412 or a 212, it's the amount of low end response that you can have, and of course you can tighten that up with the bass focus switch. I'm rambling because I love the amplifier so much. I really am stupidly proud of it, and I think, you know, hopefully this video is another reinforcement that it's a great amp and you should try it if you are interested in getting something modern high gain that can do not just modern high gain but classic and everything in between. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. I'll put a link to the Kraken in the description box below, so check it out. If you're at a guitar store that stocks Victory, I suggest you have a little go, see what you think. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. Like, subscribe and share as always, and I will see you all very soon.